everyone. Welcome to It's Our House podcast with me, Faz. We've got Mr. Dees. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, man, I couldn't be better, thank you.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Lawson. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you.
Happy New Year, by the way, everyone.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, 2021. It started a bit crazy. We'll go into that in a minute. But before we proceed, I'd like to say if you could give us some love to our sponsor, Mystery Wrestling Shirts. Head over to Instagram and Facebook. We're on there. All you got to do is add some clothes to the basket and add IOH Pod 10 for 10% off your order. That's IOH Pod 10 for 10% off your order. So today, we've got Moses and Kaun from Soldiers of Savagery. We've got O'Shea. We've got Rev Ron Hunt. And we've got Shane Taylor. Together, they make the team who will soon be dripping in gold. Shane Taylor Promotions. How you doing, guys?
Not bad. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Thank you so much for coming on. We've been praising this one on Twitter, Instagram, a lot. We've been really looking forward to having every single one of you on. We've got, our pets in here. It's all good. It's all gold. So we thought we'd jump straight into the first question, get this ball rolling. So, I think the obvious question is why decide to form a group, a faction family like Shane Taylor Promotions in the first place?
Yeah, well, if I can kind of start there, I think the main thing was, when you look at anything, it's very hard to find brothers in this business, and especially those that are not selfish. I think to a certain extent, individually, you have to have a little bit of selfishness to get where you need, but at the same time, you still also have to have unity. So with me in particular, that started with having Shane as a brother of mine, that I feel not only happens in the ring but outside of the ring, and then us seeing the same like-mindedness when it comes to guys like Kaun and Moses, when it comes to guys like O'Shea, and I feel like nothing is more dangerous when you have a group of young men that have their mindset on a narrow path, know what they want, know how to get there, and refuse to take no for an answer. And I feel like that's what all of us, no matter what our goals are, the way that we want to get there is still the same. The message that we want to give is still the same. And, I think we're all at the point where, we're doggone if anyone tells us any different. It's our message. We're going to give it the way that we can, but at the same time, we're going to try to elevate people that want to think like us, that believe like us, and to let them know that they can do the same thing that we can do.
Yeah. Does everyone else feel the same in the group? Yeah.
Oh, hands down, no doubt.
I mean, Ron nailed it perfectly. In this sport, again, when you're talking about the way African-American males in particular have been presented, I was very tired of these stereotypical routes that we had to take. I was tired of the same old characters being brought out. I was tired of saying the same thing on my TV, and I was tired, especially as a kid, of not being able to have someone that I could relate to, that I thought, hey, they've gone through the same things that I've gone through, and they weren't doing some of the craziness, that we've seen. So going forward, and we've seen how the world is, we've seen how society is, I think it's more important than ever to have individuals like ourselves on TV sending the messages to our fans, to our communities that we do. And Ron pretty much nailed it, that there are better choices out there. You could rise above things as long as you work together and work hard.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when the idea was put forward to you guys, did any of you have any sort of misgivings? Did you have any doubts, or were you happy doing your own thing, or were you quite happy to come together as a group?
You can be as honest as you want here, guys, because no one's getting shit kicked out because you're all in different areas.
It's a safe space.
The safe zone here, you know what I mean? We're all family.
Yeah. If I can, I'll take that one. Before Shane and the crew even approached me, I was doing my own thing for a while, just because it was one of the things I had to do. It was something that so I'm from the South. I was raised in Atlanta. So wrestling in the South, in Georgia, Tennessee, I really can't include Florida because Florida's its own ecosystem down there. But at least in the South, it's hard to break out of, because as many people don't want to make, it's a good old boy system down there, man. They know who they like who they like, and you're going to have to work 3 times as hard just to even get the benefit of the doubt. So me venturing out on my own was a necessity, even for me just to get this far, because I realized quick that I was going to have to do the things that no one else, at least at the time in my area, was going to do just to make it. I wasn't going to settle for crumbs. You know, I wasn't going to settle for scraps. I wasn't going to settle for, you know, anytime I walk into a building, it's like, okay, well, he can be somebody's heavy, or he can just be the big guy. And I'm like, man, if that's all you see, man, then you really haven't been paying attention. That's just your snap judgment of me. It wasn't until I finally moved up north and I kind of got embedded into, like, you know, the mid-Atlantic region, where people started to understand this. Is like, yeah, the fact that I'm big is the icing on the cake of what I am. Like, I'm multi-layered, I'm multifaceted. Like, I bring a level of nuance when I speak, when I wrestle, anything I do. And it wasn't until I left the South where people started to realize it. And once I got a chance to, you know, get in touch with Shane and Moses and Kaun and Ron and all that good stuff, and they actually started to see, like, oh man, yo, this is a dude who pretty much mirrors everything that everybody's been talking about. It wasn't so much of it was a misconception. It was just an easy fit. It was the right thing to do because it was the best thing to do. And ever since then, there's never, at least for me, I haven't seen a downside. And that's when you don't see a downside in a business decision, then that's good business.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kaun, Moses, what about yourself, guys? Because obviously you came in when, well, you kind of formed it yourself, didn't you, really?
Take this.
The nod of approval. Yes, Shao Kahn.
So I would say that coming through the ROH dojo system, like, I think Moses and I were just kind of looking for our moment to get into the business here at ROH. We were kind of just like secluded in this warehouse, training all the time, but we didn't have this to step into the roster, to step into the main stage and take over. And at that point, we were just kind of like, I guess, floundering in a sense. The tag team division was being rebuilt, and we were just looking for our moment to just take over and make an impact. And if you see when we debut, Shane's on the apron, and that's where the breadcrumbs just right there. This ultimate come together for Shane Taylor Promotions, and eventually came and approached us in the back, and we saw an opportunity and we took it. And he promised us opportunity, and a year later, I tell people on other podcasts, like, look at us now. Just look at us now.
100%.
I think anyone, we said it before with like ROH tag team division has always been fantastic. It always has, and the one group that always kind of tip of your tongues has been the Briscoe brothers. And for you two to be in that same category now as the Briscoe brothers shows you how much obviously you came on within Shane Taylor Promotions. And I've said it for guys, Chris and there's Carl there. It's weird. It's Faz. Chris and Faz, you'll back me up when you say that. I've genuinely said that SOS are 100% future ROH tag team champions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I watched a few of your matches before we got involved with yourselves, and I was blown away. You know, the two of you have this chemistry that is just like brothers. That makes sense. You just know exactly what each other are going to be. The way you move in the ring, the way you work as a team is absolutely fantastic. And I've said to anyone, if you have not seen SOS as a tag team in a match, you need to do that. That should be your New Year's resolution, because you know you're missing out. And like I say, anyone that can go toe to toe with the Briscoes just shows. Shane, we'll come to you in a minute, brother. But I know you've done well with the Briscoes recently. We'll come to you in a second. But right now,
It's all good.
But yeah, I mean, you've had wars with them, and you've had not just them, everyone else in that division. But like I say, I genuinely believe 2021 is going to be special for all five of you, and right so.
Definitely. Lawson, to you, mate.
Oh yeah, it's me, isn't it? Sorry, I was going to take away that. Sorry. We try not to have awkward silence, and I fucked it up. Anyway, here we go.
Take a shot.
Yeah, my bad. I was just getting too carried away there. So, as you know, people join and people leave factions. Ron, when we had you on previously, you were telling us how you're looking to expand Shane Taylor Promotions, which is awesome. You have this kind of, and I'm probably answering it for you, but you have this kind of feeling that you're not going to, like, you know, you have the whole thing when people leave. I don't feel that with you. I feel like it's like a brotherhood. He says to Kenny King last week, it's kind of that different vibe that they get with all five of you. But what makes it different? What we know what makes Shane Taylor Promotions different, but for the viewers and the audience out there, what makes it different for you with you guys?
Well, I think one of the main things is, either way we look at it, whether we're from different states or anything, when you look at the struggle of African Americans, especially with African American males, our struggle is often the same. A lot of times when you hear certain races have to deal with the talk, that deals with the sex talk. With us, when you talk about the talk, you ask pretty much any black household, that deals with how to handle yourself when you get pulled over, how to handle yourself, how can you try to stay alive to the best of your ability with what you have control of. And then even to that next step, some of those talks, even when you get into sports, I did baseball, basketball, and football, and then pro wrestling on top of that, and et cetera, et cetera. But it was you always have to work 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as hard just to get the beginning level of what perhaps someone got that might have not even earned that spot. And so when you look at the realm of professional wrestling, we're keeping it shoot here, in regards of what you look at as real or as sincere, pro wrestling in general is very real. We go through the same thing just like any other thing, a real life shoot occupation or anything. And I feel like when you surround yourself with people that understand what that struggle is like, understand what it's like to overcome adversity, understand what it's like to be at the bottom and try the best you can, and yet at the same time you still can't see the light of day. I think that's what kind of separates us, because when you look at it, it's not about the money, and Shane O'Shea, everybody will tell you, Kaun and Moses still tell you, it's not about the money, it's not about the fame, it's what impact can we leave based on the opportunities that we get. How can we prove people wrong and doubters wrong when you give us one piece of crumb, but yet we make a whole dinner table and a 5-course meal out of this thing? And so I feel like when you're able to kind of surround yourself with people to understand what it's like to be at the bottom, loyalty is everything in this business. And everybody that's on the call will tell you, we don't just hit up each other when it's down to talk about wrestling. We're checking on each other. We're checking on each other through the pandemic. We're checking on each other when we go through different life situations with families and friends, because it's a brotherhood, it's a family. And I feel like that's one thing that's kind of missed in a lot of areas. You get team together because, hey, it might be the right thing to do at that time. But with us, since day one, when Shane approached me and we were talking initially when we brought Kaun and Moses in, we wanted to do it forever ago, but we had to kind of get through that course. And just like Kaun was talking about too, it was always there. We knew what we wanted, and we said, we're not going to settle, because we knew that we can all see a spitting image of each other with just looking at each other. We all been through the same paths, just sometimes different routes, but we all been through the same paths. And I feel like when you kind of look at that unity, that camaraderie, that blood bond is what I feel separates us from other teams. Respectfully, what separates us from other teams to let us know, listen, loyalty is key, man. Blood just doesn't make you family. It's about that loyalty aspect of things. And I feel like that's what we got with STP.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, you've obviously, you've all been through, your own circumstances which have led to this particular group. With Ring of Honor, you've got that freedom to be who you are. If the opportunity came to join an AEW or WWE or anything like that, and they asked you to change the dynamic, would you say no?
I'll take that one. Here's the thing, right? There is part of the lessons that I want to teach, especially with Shane Taylor Promotions, is the ability to work together and not impede anybody else's success around you for whatever reason that you feel that it would be the right thing. I think as a community, we've been so indoctrinated with being jealous of our brother and having that success that a lot of people tend to undercut the next man, as opposed to looking at the good that it can bring to the entire community. And with us, the optimal goal would be for everybody to be right here in this group, no matter where we went, no matter what happens in the future, right? That's the optimal goal. A lot of things don't always work to plan. So if it was necessary that people got an opportunity here or there, they are more than welcome to go and expand and do everything that they need to do to be successful for them, for their families, for their communities. And we are still going to all be STP no matter where that takes us. One of the things that I really love about this when I brought everybody together was, hey, if someone has to leave, there's not going to be any, oh, they got turned on, oh, they got jumped. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? If someone decides that, hey, this is a great opportunity here, they will be welcomed and loved. Open arms, go do it, go get your money, go be as successful as you can possibly be, because that's the only way that we're going to progress going forward, not just in the sport, but in society. But the optimal goal would of course be for everybody to go at once and move as a unit everywhere we go. And honestly, if you change the dynamic, then you're not getting what you asked for. Yeah. So I would tell whoever it is that we work with, if we're not in ROH, that what you see and is what you get. What you asked for with what came in is what you're going to get from us. And asking us for anything less, you'd be wasting your money.
Definitely. I think obviously that ties to the question that I was going to ask next, really, is that, with other factions aiming to get all the gold, and, say, like, for example, in NXT at the moment, you've got Kyle O'Reilly who's fighting for the title instead of Adam Cole, which kind of has people's backs up, as it were. Would all of you gladly sacrifice your own needs for the rest of the group when it comes to gold?
I can say short, sweet, to the point. Absolutely, for me.
Yeah, man. A high tide raises all ships, man. So it's if one of us eat, we all eat. We're all at the table together, and so I'm never gonna let my brother starve. That's why we always stay hungry. So it's just one of them things of, we understand what this is. We understand what we got to do for us all to get there. I mean, at least for, like I said, for me and my house, man, we do what needs to be done for the for the glory of the team. Everything else that happens after that is bonus.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So just picture that all of you is with a title. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
That's
what we wanted. That's what we wanted. All of you holding them.
See, when SOS and Shane didn't compete for the 6th one, I was raging. I was like, fuck, I wanted them on with the gold. You know what I mean? O'Shea, no respect, because you will get gold, my brother. But I'm saying just because they were up for it, and I was like, bastard.
Nah, no disrespect, man. When like I said, I found out when like the rest of the world found out, and I was at the gym, and so when the Magic graphic came out, I dropped my weight. I was just like, yo, and I was excited, because these are my guys, man. These are my boys, and so you get excited when your boys get a chance to succeed. Because when it's your turn, you're gonna want that same excitement for you. So there was I was like, oh man, I was like, no, I was excited for him. I text everybody individually and was like, yo, show your ass, man. You know what time it is. And because there's gonna come a time where it's me and they're gonna say the same thing, yo, Shay, it's your time, man. Go show your ass. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go get it.
Yeah, I was like bastard when I seen that. But Shane, you did well, my brother. You did well.
I mean, we did well. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell anybody, man, like this, especially through this last year. And, my job as a leader, right? And I know that this is a hot button thing, but my job as a leader, the way I lead, is to be there for my guys and support them no matter what it is they're going through. But personally, for me, it's been a rough year as well, but I keep that to myself because to me, that's just how I lead, right? It's not about my problems. It's about what's good for the group, right? But to have a year that we've had and to have the year that I had personally, but end it on a note like we did with everything trending upward, with people finally seeing what I saw in Kaun and Moses, and now, damn near predicting that they're going to be future Ring of Honor tag team champions as they will. Right. To have O'Shea with us, to have Ron, and to end the year with with one of the biggest wins of my career against Jay Briscoe at Final Battle, and virtually walk into 2021 with even more momentum that we had going into 2020. I mean, you really can't ask for a better outcome for the team than that, and these guys unknowingly have been, the rock that I've leaned on all year. So Final Battle wasn't just a success for me, but it was a success for the team because they got me there. So we're going to take all of that momentum going into 2021, and I'll be damned if we don't walk out with damn near everything that ROH has to offer.
Damn right.
Hell yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, man. So this is something that we've kind of touched on before when we sat and spoke with Ron, when we spoke with yourself, Shane. You've spoken about how tight-knit the group is and the dynamic and all those kind of things, but you've also spoken of your desire to maybe bring more people in. Right. How exactly would you maybe want to expand Shane Taylor Promotions? Would it be maybe bringing in a woman, and then you can obviously go for that side of things, go for the women's championship as well, or where does it stop? Is there a certain size that you want the group to be, or would that eventually potentially hurt the dynamic of the group?
Before you answer that, sorry, did you get my email about my request of coming into?
I
went to
got the email. Listen, I got it. I do believe that I forwarded it to Ron. You know what I mean? So
he deleted it.
Is that what you did? Ron was too big on the whiskey at that point. I thought, fucking delete.
I gotta check my spam folder.
So I mean, for me, it's like this. Obviously, we can't have everybody in Ring of Honor. There's only so many roster spots, but the goal of SDP is to expand not just to Ring of Honor, but worldwide, globally. The more people that we can have, especially from our community under the brand, that are able to help each other across the world, make sure that everybody's taken care of, that nobody's getting messed with on money, that nobody's getting messed with on travel, that nobody's getting messed with on anything, and we're able to get everybody at a position where they are providing a great lifestyle for themselves, whether they're in a major company or not. The goal is to have even everybody on the independents good, you know what I mean, and living a comfortable life, so that if they do get approached by one of these large companies, that they have leverage at the negotiation table, right? They're not just, some independent act who is lucky enough to work with these other companies. They're going, hey, this is a business to business transaction. You're bringing me in for a reason, right? Now you have leverage to be compensated as such. So that's the goal. And I personally, it could be as many people as possible for me. Because the more people that we can help, then the better off we all are. But if we're talking specifically just what we want to do with ROH, then yeah, I feel like we brought in O'Shea. The next step would be to bring in that female presence. And there's a lot of talented women out there. Excuse me. So it's about just making the right choice, who brings that energy, who fits best with the synergy of the team, who's the most like-minded, and then bringing in that sort of last piece to complete the puzzle.
Yeah, definitely.
When you say that, Shane, though, like when you say you can bring as many people as you want, I mean, the first thing I can think of, right, is, and hear me out here when I say this, is like the NWO of WCW, where it just got like stupidly big. Do you know what I mean? But in this occasion here, it totally feels 100 times different. Where this isn't a work, this isn't like something for the camera. This is genuinely brotherhood that we have here. That like this is exactly a family. And and I genuinely believe when you say that, how it's going to be as big as possible, and it's not just going to be within Ring of Honor. You totally get that feeling. It comes across that it is something totally different that I've not seen, and I'm pretty sure the other boys haven't really seen this within. It's not really, it is wrestling as such, but it's not. That makes sense. It's more than just this.
Everything I set out to do, and everything that I say, every message that I send is bigger than wrestling. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I want to impart on fans, on other wrestlers, on anybody watching us, that the stories that we're trying to tell, the energy that we have, the messages that we send are bigger than wrestling. When I talked to Kaun and Moses after they lost to the Briscoes, and I told them, I don't ever want to see you with your heads down again. That's a message. It's bigger than wrestling. You know what I mean? This is about having pride in yourself, in your culture, in your brothers and sisters, about being able to lift each other up, especially in these crazy times, and looking out for us as opposed to looking out for self. So yeah, and a lot of people, especially in previous generations, you know, they've had success and then somehow they forgot about the rest of us after them, right? Not all, but a lot did. And so now we've kind of had to restart things. And being one of the people that is at the forefront of that, I want to make sure that the generation after me doesn't have to be restarted, that we can continue the momentum that we built and move that forward. So, yeah, I mean, the goal is absolutely to make sure whoever we can help, we will, and they benefit from this. And hopefully that's able to show another generation of people just what, you know, we're asking when we require or we talk about unity and working together for a common goal.
Yeah, totally. Going back to that, what you said when Moses and Kaun were defeated by the Briscoes, that was. I seen that clip where you had that discussion with them, but you could totally tell that wasn't for the cameras. That was a genuine message you were giving over, and that would go for anybody. That would go for O'Shea, that would go for Ron, that would go for everyone, and it wouldn't just be you. It would be, you know, you have that feeling. You do it for each other, you know. Like I say, it's definitely something special you got going on here. I totally believe that. So, going on to the stories, right? So this is going to. I want to make a bit of fun about this. I want to hear some good ass stories. You know what I mean? I want to hear some behind.
That's what you're all on.
I'm talking. I want to hear some fun. So this is a journey that you've got going on here, guys. So let's be honest, it's a journey, and it's the start of the journey because I can see it's been a very, very long term thing. So I know you've had the pandemic going on, and I know it's going to be a bit more different. However, I want to hear your best matches that you've had, but I want to hear your best experiences, your best funs. What is it like being on the road with each other? You know, I want to hear all about it. So crack on.
We'll just take a seat back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start this with O'Shea, because O'Shea was feeling a little salty on social media because somebody tried to do him wrong. So we don't like that. So I'm gonna give it to O'Shea.
Was that today? Was that the one that you put through that clown?
Brother, that was this morning, man. It took 3 days. It took 3 days. 3 days for clown shit to get started, man. It's unbelievable. So, actually, the funny thing is, I was just getting in from doing the show, so I'm kind of unwinding and do everything, and my Instagram pops up, and it's a promoter, and he's like, "Hey, are you? It's a pretty Happy New Year." He started off well enough. He's like, "Happy New Year." He goes, curiosity to your availability on April 3rd. Usually I don't take bookings out that far, but I was like, well, for the most part, yeah, I'm available for April the 3rd. He's like, great. If you wouldn't mind, just, here's the show. And he sends me like a Facebook invitation. And he's like, if you just click going, that'd be great. Mm-hmm. And at that point in time, I knew, okay, this is gone. We have made a left turn somewhere and I'm not steering. So I don't know where we're going. I don't play that. Like, no, I drive my own vehicle. No one drives it for me. So I'm a businessman, and I'm a businessman, and I usually, I keep my cool very well. But I go, well, that's fantastic, but we haven't really discussed any parameters, so I'm not agreeing to anything until we parameters. And he's like, okay, well, what are those parameters? And I laid them out to him very, very directly, nothing, this is the standard. This is what I charge everybody. It is what it is. And so a few minutes go by and I was like, all right, well, I figured I'm too rich for his blood. No big deal, whatever, which is fine. It's cool. I understand it's a business. So he comes back and he goes, well, we can do $50, and then if you need trans, you can just sell merch at the table. And I just kind of remember sitting there looking at it going, nuh-uh. Like, nuh-uh. Like, there's no way.
O'Shea probably had that. You probably had that Booker T moment where it's like, tell me you didn't just say that.
I did. And so at this point, like I tell people, I talk to myself a lot. So I remember I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden, I remember Devil O'Shea popped up. He goes, hey, man, burn that dude alive. Burn his ass alive. Don't nobody talk to you like that, man. That offer, man, burn his ass alive. And I was like, you're right, evil me. I should burn his ass alive. I'm going to burn his ass alive. And then out of nowhere, Angel O'Shea popped up and goes, hey, man, while he does have a great point, this is business. He's just not hip as you are. Maybe you just want to take it, like navigate through this just a little bit and just see what happens. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, all right, cool. So I responded like, hey man, look, I appreciate the offer, but unfortunately I can't do that, man. Good luck to you. And it's whatever. Because for me, it's for every ass you kick and for every toe you step on going up, you're going to have to kick those asses and kick those toes on the way down. So I was like, nah, it's cool. But I did screenshot it, though. I did screenshot it.
That's all you're charging.
Yeah. I was like, so I screenshotted it, and I was like, and I pass it on to like some of my other friends. I'm like, hey, somebody tell me not to roast his ass. Like, I'm going to edit it, but tell me not to roast his ass. And this is how you know I have great friends. They're like, hey, man, you need to roast his ass. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to roast his ass. Yeah, let's go ahead and roast his ass. As long as someone else agrees with me, we're going to be fine. And so, because for me, it was like I could have easily sat there and lost my cool and cussed my man out. But for me, I'm like, yo, man, this is a teachable moment. This is not how we do business. Wrestling already, as it is, already gets looked at kind of funky, and people call it carny. And shit like that is what makes it come off as carny. And it's going to be, it's up to men and women and everyone else like us to basically, hey man, this is not how we do business. We may not agree on terms, and that's fine. That's going to happen, but we don't do this. We just don't try to assume someone's going to show up because they're available that day. No, man, talk business, because this is what it is. I don't lose money doing this. You know what I'm saying? I don't lose money. When I first started, different story. Now, I don't lose money. I tell people all the time, I was like, I make money just sitting at home, like doing nothing. I don't have to wrestle. I will still make money because I'm money motivated. I'm money oriented. I'm not trying to be rich. I'm trying to be wealthy. I'm trying to build generational wealth for my kids and my kids' kids, to the point where they don't even know who I am anymore, but my children's children will always be taken care of. And that's not how I do that. If I'm going to break my back, I'm going to be properly compensated for it one way or another. This wasn't it. And at the end of the day, now all of Twitter knows. And so, and I told everybody, I'm like, look, man, I don't blast people online, but if you want to come to me in my DMs, well, it all goes down in DMs. I'll gladly tell you what happened, and then we'll go from there. And I'll let you guys make your decisions from there.
And for anyone, for all you that want around when we first start recording, we don't do business that way, guys. That was a pure shit show of a time trying to get you all on stuff.
I mean, I just want to say, I just checked O'Shea's Twitter. It has 56 retweets, 676 likes, and 62 comments. So shouts out to you, sir.
Hey, here's the thing. You should see my DMs, man. They've been blown up like, yo, what clown has been doing this? And I'm like, hey, man, it's this guy. I'll let you do that information what you will.
The funniest part about that whole thing, right, is he's just like, you're right, Devil O'Shea. It's like there was no hesitation. There was no Let's wait for Angel O'Shea. Let's just hear what he's got to say. None of that. It was just like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
Angel O'Shea was like, wait. I'm here too. He's like, what? You know what I mean?
I really wasn't trying to hear from you today.
I know, bro. Like, damn.
I didn't want to hear from him, but I'm like, man, this dude's gonna show up and start talking sense, man. Come on, man. Come on. Get it out the way. Come on.
There he is with me harping that, eh? Just staying nice and
Yeah.
Fuck it.
It was late too, man. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, Angel O'Shea, man. Hey, if this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe. But man, it's 1 a.m., dog.
Bro.
Man, we roast people after midnight.
Bro, he's that responsible friend when you're about to do some dumb shit. Like, he's that responsible friend. It's like, guys, maybe we shouldn't, like, Stanley, come on, bro. Like, every time with this.
Every time.
Every
Like
time.
Like I said, after midnight, man, Angel O'Shea knows, like, hey, man, look, I'm going to know you're going to do some dumb shit tonight, so I'm not going to try to stop you. I'm just going to sit here and look really disappointed, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm like, man, thank you.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
It's really, yeah, man, that's it. You beautiful disaster. I'm just real disappointed in you right now.
Right. Oh, God.
So going back to the question.
What was the question?
I can't even remember, man. We did.
What was your favourite matches and experience?
Oh, that was it. What was your favourite? Shit from you guys. Come on. What's your favourite matches? You're all sitting there in the quiet background and that with the WWE Championship thinking, oh, I'm going to do this.
Favorite match would be the 6-man against EC3 and the Briscoes. That was a ton of fun. Crazy story though. It's Moses and I got into a little bickering battle in the car. We were driving with the rest of the dojo, and me caring about other animal life, I swerved across the highway to miss a raccoon. I'm not gonna run this thing over. This man screaming at me because I was just ready to kill all of us. I'm not gonna.
Okay, hold on.
Here we go.
Let me put this into context, okay?
Hey, we survived, right? We survived.
You're driving a 2018 like Tahoe. It's 6 people, 6 wrestlers, so grown adults in this car. I don't know how things are outside of the United States, but in the United States, the driver is responsible for everybody in the vehicle, right? So in my mind, 7 is greater than this animal. I would say swerve if it was just me. But when you have 7 lives responsible, I'm sorry, step on the gas and go.
I just swerved. We all survived. We made it. Doesn't even matter.
Hey, Moses, well, if you stepped on the gas, we'd have had food for the day as well.
Look, I was just.
Everybody eats.
We were asleep. We argued the rest of the way. We had like argued the rest of the way there.
Moses said, "You trying to kill us, man?"
Since we're talking about us being, we have spent a lot of time in a car together, and the last time we did the Pittsburgh Columbus loop, I thought we were going to jail.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, you remember this. So, most times he takes first leg, especially at night. He'll take first leg, and normally I'll finish up the drive afterwards. So we're leaving Columbus. We get on the highway, and this guy decides, hey, I'm going to do 90 in the left lane, which is perfectly fine. However, about 10 feet in front of us is a state trooper. So we're riding, and like the trooper starts speeding up, and I look over, he starts speeding up, and he was like, I'm just following him. If he's going this fast, I can go this fast too. And I'm just like, this is not going to end well. All of a sudden, the trooper swerves to the right, slows down. And I said, if he gets behind us and cuts the lights on, we're going to jail. That's what I said. I said that out loud. Little do you know, blue and red lights light up. I just go, black guys in a car in the middle of the night. We're going to jail. Luckily, the trooper just pulled us, like he got us to like, we moved from the left lane all the way to the far right lane, and he just cut his lights off and kept going down the road.
That man's an asshole. He's a fucking asshole. I had to pull over and take a breath and do a woosah to calm down.
I was so scared. I knew. I said, "We're going to jail. We're going to jail."
Was there wee people going like that?
A little bit. A little bit.
Hey man, y'all got lucky, man. Because the last time I was in the first time I was in Ohio before I moved to Ohio, that was the first time I ever got pulled over from the front, and they did the same exact thing. Actually, I think we're going to. I think we're cutting through. I think going to like Detroit or something like that with another federation. And I was in there with it was Flex. It was Flex Simmons, who's one of the dojo guys. It was Jocelyn Navarro. So here's the thing. Based on previous situations, Flex had Flex had a DUI, so he had one of the breathalyzers in there. Yeah, so you already know this is going south. So okay, so all right. So hear me out. This was actually so this was like before everything was all kosher with ROA. So we were actually just doing like a quick like little WWE loop from Pittsburgh to Detroit, Little Caesars Arena. So we had to go there. We had to hit Cleveland, pick up Jocelyn. So we're going through. We're leaving Detroit, and I'm going. I just got the music on. I'm going. Jocelyn refused to drive. Flex is passed out in the back, just laid out in the back, like snoring and everything. So I'm going. I see this trooper. It's dark, so I don't see him until there's like what Kaun said, about 10 feet, and I start to slow down. Well, the officer cuts me off, and I'm like, I want to cuss him out. I'm like, yo, this is a popo. But the officer cuts me off, does the same exact thing, goes over, slows down, and gets behind me, hits the lights. I'm like, oh shit. So we pull over. Jocelyn's like, really, Rev, you I'm like, shh. So I'm like, okay, so here we go. I'm driving a car. This is not mine. It looks suspicious. Black guy driving the car, speeding enough that you pull me over from the front. There's a nice young lady in the front. There's a passed out white dude in the back, and then between us you see a breathalyzer blow thing. So I'm like, I'm just like, wow. So the officer's like, do you know why I pulled you up? No, officer. Just give me the ticket already, bro. So the guy's talking. He's like, do you have your license? I'm like, yeah. He takes the information. He's like, whose car is it? And I was like, that. And I look behind me, and dude is like snoring. And then the officer shines back up, and he sees the breathalyzer, and I'm like, all right. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, all right, well, it was nice knowing everybody. I'm about to sell my car, sell my house. I need bond money, And so I wish it stopped here. He takes my license. He runs whatever. He comes back. He's like, sir, your license is suspended. I was like, for what?
Oh no.
I said, for what? He said, well, we can't quite see because it's from like some type of ticket in Pennsylvania from 2013 that apparently I never paid a parking ticket. But he's like, you can't drive this car. So I had to piss off Jocelyn Navarro, who she's a professional ass kicker, and so she had to drive because Flex is still passed out, and I think he had to head back. I forgot what state he was in then, but it was a white car. Some people already associated me with OJ, so I thought it was gonna be another OJ, bro. Like I really did.
Shane, what have we got together here, by the way?
Yeah, man. They're gonna call me the Juice Ron Hunt after this, man.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Did you not say like I'm a reverend or something like that? Because you know went to that.
I tried. I think all of my crazy situations always happen with getting pulled over. Like they've all happened when they got pulled over, and it all came from a wrestling show. There was the next famous one. I got out of a ticket because the guy's son was a wrestling fan. So the guy was speeding. We got pulled over. I guess the officer was in training. So we got one officer coming up on the driver's side, one officer coming up on the passenger. My good old man, this guy, Jordan Styles, honest, great guy as can be. And I'm going to send him this. He's going to laugh. So the officer's like, we got your license and registration. So this officer in training is like shaking with his flashlight. You got 2 black guys, you got tinted windows. The officer says, so do you have any weapons in the car? And my dude's like, well, officer, as a matter of fact, I do. I think I have a knife somewhere down. And he's starting to reach. He's like, no, it's okay.
Oh, God, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then so he's like, where you guys coming from? Like, we're coming from a show, pro wrestlers. It sounds weird. I got these nice knee-high boots, real nice leather in the back. That, that's our proof. We got a title back there. And he's like, oh, my friends, my sons are a fan. So, he let us out because I gave him like an autograph and everything, and we survived to tell another story. So don't feel too bad, Moses. Don't feel too bad.
Bro, we really got to talk about the circle of people that you surround yourself with. Because goddamn.
Yeah.
Hey, it's been a rough one, man. It's been a rough one.
Ron,
I mean, all right.
If
If we're telling these stories, then since we're on the subject.
Yes.
A few years ago, was driving, similar story to Ron. I was driving some friends of mine. They were drinking. I had one beer. I was like, all right, I'll drive. So I'm driving through Cleveland. Now we get to a residential area. Now most of those are about 35 mile an hour. We happen to be driving through one that was 25. Right? So we're talking 10. Not crazy. Not like, we for sure need to pull you over. But in the situation that I was in, it happens. Right? So car gets behind me and looks like legitimately the Ghostbuster car. I have never seen a police vehicle like this. Right? The most lights I've ever seen in one spot in my entire life. It was absolutely insane. So guys get out. There's me, my buddy, and 2 passed out white girls in the back seat. They were drinking. He was drinking. It was one of their car. I'm driving, right? So I'm like, all right, this looks like a situation. Okay.
A little bit.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, this is gonna be, you said that you could talk. Let's see what you can do, So guy pulls up, he comes up, license registration, officer, it's her car. I don't know where she keeps it all, but I'm sure it all checks out. She wakes up at this time, thank God, and she's like, yes, officer, it's my car, my friend is driving. All right, great. I look over, his partner is already gun drawn, pointed at me. Okay, not the first time I've had a gun pump, like, you know what I mean? So not nervous, like, oh, all right, that's happening. Hey, what's going on with your partner? Oh, we do that for everybody. Sir, I'm not one to call you a liar, right? But I highly doubt if I was a 75-year-old grandma, he'd have his gun on me right now. You know what I mean? Let's not play that game. You know what I mean? He's like, well, people could have weapons. I'm like, all right, it's cool. Long story short, it was all good. The guy apologized and put his gun away, but I was like, man, you try to do the right thing, be the designated driver, you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
shit could have gone left real bad.
Disgusting. That's why this group is together, isn't it? To change this, to change the mold, to be something different, to stop these things from happening. It's disgusting. It shouldn't happen in, never mind 2021. But it shouldn't happen at all.
Well, I think now, and let me know if this like segues off the question. I think now these, in a way, these things are funny now. But I think I kind of speak for all of us. You really don't know how to cut a promo on the fly until you got to do one when you feel like your life is at risk and you're getting pulled over. Because I've had some crazy situations that you really don't know if you can kind of talk on the stick until you're behind the steering wheel and you're at 10 and 12, So, but, I think, just like you said, it's funny now when looking back at it, but I think it goes back to what I said from the jump. Just by looking at that, pretty much all of us in different states, but somehow go through this, go through the same exact thing. And sometimes a lot of people don't live to see another light of day where they could tell a story like, like we're telling. So, I feel like, that's still part of the course now, to where, I mean, you live and learn, but you use these opportunities to enlighten other people, and, and kind of let them know what's out there, and some of the do's and don'ts. But, I think from wrestling, I'll tell this quick one. There was a company that was in Pittsburgh. They were NWA affiliated. Their call letters were the names that should not be mentioned. But they were in Pittsburgh, and the guy had a crappy ring. This ring was terrible. I'm talking about certain parts were like sitting on a brick or whatever. Great guys that coached and trained there, but the owner was a complete numbnut. And he knows it. I've told him to his face, Jim Miller. But hey, it's 2021, guys. New year, new me. I just said it like a whole lot of time. But so what happened was, prior, 20 plus years, their legacy that they started, very well respected legacy, great names that came through, which is how I got connected with them, through my trainer's son, Sam Moo. But through the years, things kind of trickle, because you get in that mindset that you know everything and you don't have to transform as the world evolves. So we start to see that downcline. Well, long story short, the ring finally decided to break. They didn't want to cancel the show because he didn't want to give people their money back. He was too busy putting money on a turf carpet that was on the upstairs. O'Shea probably knows where this is going, because you've been at this place that was new when you got there, but he was even worse before that. So he said, hey, they had a meeting, and they said, hey, the ring is broke. We're trying to fix it. Come along, said everything is broke. Screw it. We tried to put a block underneath the middle to support it. It's not happening. This whole entire show is going to be ECW, like falls count anywhere, no rules, no holds barred. Every single match. Go everywhere but the ring. Every match. 8 matches. 8 matches. Everywhere but the ring. All 8 matches were a street fight. This was right before we were walking down the steps from the locker room. The bottom step broke and almost killed 3 people. But then also, this was also before they were making some type of bar man cave upstairs, and they were making a staircase at that time. There was a hole, and all of a sudden there was a random raccoon running around the locker room. And this is all in one night. This is all in one night. And then so after that, the wrestlers decided to boycott. Some of us left. Fans decided to boycott and said they're not coming back until there's a new ring. And then finally there was a brand new High Spots ring and everything. But that was more wrestling outside of the road trip. That was the that was the craziest. And yeah. That's all I'm gonna say on that one.
I'm going to give you all a bit of advice here, guys. So if ever the 5 of you are in a car, let's make sure that O'Shea drives, because he's got an angel on him. Okay.
Yeah, at all times.
Let's hope the angel comes first.
Well, actually, because before I started wrestling full time, I was a fireman for 15 years. So like my old fireman's badge and shield sit right on the rearview mirror. So anytime I get pulled over, I'm not gonna lie, that shield has got me out of plenty of tickets. And so, as soon as they pull up, it's like, sir, do you know how fast you were going? And they see the shield, and they kind of look at me and goes, hey man, just slow it down, and just walk off. And I'm like, still paying off.
Yeah.
2 years later, still paying off.
Let's all be volunteer firemen for the next year.
I'm telling you, man. Either it's going to get you a free drink or it's going to get you out of a ticket. All you got to do is just got to figure out which one's worth it to you.
Right. Man.
I've got a question for you right now. Sorry, Shane. Lion in the Jungle, how are you finding it? And also the other question is, why did you not get Ron to record it? Because Ron, you spit some rhymes, bro. You kept that one quiet.
Oh man, I appreciate it. We keep that in the back pocket, man.
It's like, oh, where are they coming from?
I mean, honestly, man, this is what I'd like to do. Again, I'm a person who likes to lead by example and practice what I preach. I've known Tarver for a long time, and I honestly just wanted to work with him on a project, right? I was like, hey, I'm set on theme. TZ did a great job on my different theme that you guys hear every time I come to the ring. But I wanted to put, to work with him on a project and get something for highlight reels or anything, really. Just wanted to work with my guy and put some money in his pocket, just to help him. and what he gave me back was a banger. That thing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. He crushed it.
I love the bit where it says LeBron doesn't bring back the only gold in the land. I was like, yeah,
exactly.
I appreciate that.
He's the only one bringing the gold in the land. You know what I mean? Exactly.
That's sweet.
He absolutely crushed it. You know, him and his team did a fantastic job. Man, I see that getting played everywhere. You know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to him, his team. I let some people listen to it before we released it, and I know he's got like a few more people like, yeah, let's have him do a project. So that's what it's all about, man. You know, working with people and trying to help them have success, you know, by working together.
Yeah, we were on the show, aren't we, guys?
Yeah,
absolutely. Love to.
I would be brilliant on having the show because that tune though is just it just fits so well. Just fits so well to the whole of what you've got. You know what I mean? It was just, and it's one of them when it drops and you listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just pay attention and you go, that's my type of music, to be honest as well, which kind of helps.
Yeah, it does.
For real, it's man. If you didn't understand what we were about before, a song like that would, you know, I'd be like, okay, this is self-explanatory. If you can't understand it after this, then there's no hope for you.
Yeah,
there really isn't. Awesome. So we'll move on to the last question. It's been great having you all on. You can keep this as short, as sweet as you want. Basically, what does the future hold for each of you as individuals, or you know, as SOS? And what does the future hold for the team in 2021?
Ooh.
Gold.
For real.
The simple answer, yeah, gold. I made Kaun and Moses a promise that was supposed to come true at Final Battle. Circumstances being what they are, I'm going to make good on that promise. I believe every single person here can hold championship gold in Ring of Honor. We are going to figure out the best game plan on how to do that. And I think, especially with the momentum that we've carried, that every championship is possible to be had. And I know for me individually, the Ring of Honor World Championship is the last sort of summit that I have to get to. For almost 20 years now, I've heard that, you know, only one person was going to be able to do it, that the only way to succeed and to reach that mountaintop was to act a certain way, to dress a certain way, to carry myself a certain way. And with the momentum that we've carried, I believe it's possible to do things my way, the way I want to be and say what it is that I have to say and still reach that mountaintop. So that's going to be the goal. There's
goal for all. That's the goal. that is the capture.
We're securing all the bags, man. All the bags that are in front of us, we're securing it by any means necessary.
For me, it's a little deeper. I've made a life out of like proving people wrong, but I've made a career out of making people look stupid. And and so when it comes like Ring of Honor was a place that I wanted to be a part of since 2016 when I came through and I did my first tryout and I was told this ain't a no, this is a not yet. So and then like to go home and then have everybody kind of sit there like, nah, man, you know, you ain't it. And so it was one of those things of like, for me, yeah, the gold's nice, but now it's, you know, I have a chip on my shoulder and it's big enough where I take it off and I beat people over the head with it while I put it back. And so for me, it's just like, I have a whole state, a whole list of people that I'm coming to make look dumb because it was just like, you told me I couldn't do it. So not only am I going to do it, I'm going to take everything they said I couldn't have, and then I'm going to take everything of yours. and this is what happens when you piss me off. So just imagine what happens when I actually try.
Yeah, that devil's gonna take over.
Boy, you have no idea, man.
Awesome, guys. So yeah, it's been great. Any more questions, Lawson, Dees?
No, man. No. I've just enjoyed that we've come out of this with 2 raccoon stories, to be honest. Not what I was expecting, but, you know.
It's probably the same damn raccoon.
Probably.
I'm all good. We're going to get SOS on separately as well as O'Shea, so we'll dive a bit more in deep with them. We've already had Ron and Sean. Shane, you can fuck off now. We're not bothered about you anymore.
Shane can go on the camera that way.
I actually realised I just said that to Shane Taylor. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
So, we were the official podcast. We're not anymore. Cheers, Lawson.
The world is only so big. I'm like, hey, so remember that shit you said? You know?
I'll be like that. You'll come over to the UK and we'll do that. We'll get all together like we promised. I'll be like, hi, Shane. And you'll be like, you fucking dick.
January 3rd, motherfucker. Let's talk about it.
You know it's all love. Yes, sir.
I love it. So yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you all of you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to obviously talk to you again. You know, we've had Ron and we've had Shane on, so obviously we can't wait to talk to O'Shea and SOS. You guys are awesome. Really, again, thank you all for spending your January 3rd with us. Really means a lot.
No problem.
Belated happy birthday to you, Shane. I'm just trying to get back in your good books now.
Good, boys. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, guys. Don't secure the bag. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All the best, guys.
That was awesome, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, man.
Stuart, man, we can't take you anywhere, can we?
No, you really can't. That was the Scottish in me coming out there, like, just telling fucking Shane Taylor, fuck off. What's that all about?
I know, one day we're not going to survive. You do know that this will all come back to bite us in the arse at some point.
Good. It's all good. Shane knows it's all love.
I know. Considering we thought that would just be anarchy at its best.
I thought it was quite structured.
Oh, it was brilliant. And, you know, some of the best talent in the world at the moment. And they're only going to get better as far as we're concerned.
With some real stories as well. I love hearing real stories, you know, stuff that isn't like premeditated and stuff, just off the cuff.
Exactly. I think obviously going forward, that's what we want to know. We want to know just, you know, it's not just wrestlers, it's not just what they do in the ring, it's their stories, it's, you know, it's the comedians, it's their stories, it's the YouTubers, it's everyone. We want to speak to anyone. We want to hear your stories, because
the more raccoon stories, the better.
Yeah. If you've got a raccoon story, hit us up. Just DM us. So guys, it's been an awesome January 3rd. We're on the cusp of another lockdown, it seems. How you feeling about that?
It doesn't affect me because of my work, to be honest. Because
you'll work forever.
I'll still be working.
I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest. I don't know when I'm going back to work. I think it could be February, it could be March. I've heard they're shooting for like the 4th or the 5th of April. It's a mess. I don't know. I'm enjoying a bit of time off work, paid, with my newborn baby. So, you know.
Exactly. Shouldn't tell people that, they'll come after you.
I know. But what's new there?
But yeah, if you want to share your social media, Dees?
At PWCDs on Twitter, and then across everything else we are at It's Our House Pod. Stu?
Yeah, Wilson?
I am at slawson1417, at slawson1417. And Dees, do you want to tell us about next week's guest?
Oh, go on then, so next week we've got sort of like a rising star of the independent scene, main eventing shows in WWN and IPW, August Artois. It's going to be a fun one. Going to be see things from a different point of view, sort of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a documentary, hasn't he? He's got a documentary that he's working on.
Coming out soon,
And he's only had a few matches, but I think one of the reasons why we wanted to get him on is just to hear that journey, what it's like training, you know, to get in the ring. Neither one of us, or none of us, can do it. We're all, you know, too big or too flimsy or
too broken.
It's all broken inside. So yeah, it'd be good to have him on next week to hear hopefully a raccoon story. One or two.
Hopefully.
I've just texted Shane making sure he's still talking to me.
So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Faz's Thoughts, and again we'll go back to our sponsor. It's Mystery Wrestling Shirts. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. It's IOH Pod 10 at checkout. IOH Pod 10 for 10% at checkout. Also, we're on Pro Wrestling Tees. It's our house pod. We're on there. We've got 3 t-shirts on at the moment, and hopefully we're going to get some more on there. We've bought them. We're just waiting for them to arrive from America. So we should have them on hopefully.
And PWTs as of tomorrow have got a 20% off sale, store-wide, website wide. So if you're ever going to buy one,
do it now.
Now's your time.
Now, and please.
I'm talking to myself.
And please, if you could, subscribe, like, comment, follow us, download us on all podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. We're over 1,000 on Twitter now. We're on nearly 6,000 on Instagram or above. I'm not quite sure. We got Facebook. So yeah, just subscribe, comment, like. It really helps us out. But I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
He said it's all good, by the way. I'm happy.
You've been happy. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Guys.